In this video, we are going to be changing the amount of damage given by the grenade based on the distance between you and the grenade source. Well, explosion source, which is the center here. So the farther you're away from it, closer to the outer edge of the sphere, the more or the less damage you will take. So first off, we can actually print out the distance so we can get a rough idea. So I'm going to do float distance equals f vector distance, and then the source, well, pretty much the two vectors. That's going to be this get actor location and player get actor location. Let's print it out. And compile so we can see roughly, just get a general idea. So for the first one, I want to see roughly how close we are, like how close we can get. So I'm going to actually stand on the grenade. Hopefully I'll be able to. Stop, 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 stop. All right, so that was 117. I'm going to open Notepad. Now I'm just going to pretty much walk into it and see if that's any closer. Uh-oh. 96. So closest being around, I'm going to do 95. Now to get a general idea on the farthest away. And I was a little far. Alright, so that was 385. So we know we're roughly far equals 400. So we're going to use that as kind of our basis. Not what I meant. So open up the calculator. So what we're going to do is we're going to pretty much be dividing these numbers by 100. So for example, 100 divided by 95 times 100 equals 105. So when we're right up on that grenade, we can use this value to pretty much deal our damage. So we know we're gonna be dealing roughly 105, well, damage to the player. So that's, they're right up on it. That's gonna kill them. Let's say they are, well, yeah, the 400. So 100 divided by 400 times 100. That's gonna deal them about 25 damage. So we can also try to change the amount that we want this to go by as well. So for example, remember the first result was 105. Let's say we do 70 divided by 90 times, or not 70 divided by 90, 70 divided by 95 times 100. That gives us a value of 73. So it's going to be of a smaller scale. So remember 73. So that was 70 divided by 400 times 100, 17. So it's drastically kind of reducing it. So let's see, what was the 400? 25. I want to increase that a bit. So I want to do 110 times, or divided by 400 times 100. 27. All right, I'm gonna do one, and we're gonna do 140. That's gonna give us 35. So 35. Let's figure out what that is for that. Is 147. And out of curiosity, let's say we are 150 divided by, no wait, 140 divided by 150 times 100, 93. So I think we're probably gonna go with 150. So we can be 150 units away. And that's going to be pretty much like the closest you can be without being completely killed. So that's going to be roughly about there. So we can actually make that good. We need to make that farther, I think. 200 divided by Well, let's see roughly where we want the closest to be before we die at. I know I want to increase the size of the radius as well. I want it to be about here. So that's 203. So we're going to do it by 200. So 200 is going to be where we're at. So that's what we're going to divide everything by. So for example, up close, we do 200 divided by 95 times 100, guaranteed kill. 200 divided by 400 times 100, it's going to about half it. So I'm also going to go ahead and increase the size of the sphere. Not exactly sure where the mesh went. Oh, duh. Try reopening it. Oh, duh, I have it open. That explains a lot. Alright, so the transform. Do 5 by 5, roughly. So that's kind of the area. Let's go down to 4.3. That's a good bit better. So that'll give us a good bit more range. So now we know roughly the formula we're going to use. We're going to use 200 divided by distance times 100. So damage equals that. Where am I at? Alright, so float damage equals 200 divided by distance times 100. And build. I want to change our stats as well. So we start out with 100 health. Just for make it a little bit better for testing. And I think I'm going to drag out another grenade. Alright, so that dealt some. That dealt a good bit more. So I'm near death. So that was about 500 units. I think I'm happy roughly with that. I do want to round it. So where's grenade? Damage equals F math. Round. Round to even. What are the others? What is round to float? Ah, gotcha. So that should round out up or down our damage. So if it's 52.3, it should be 52. If it's 52.8, it should be 53. Keyword should. All right, yep, 63. And just to finish this off, I'll do one more test and see roughly how far away we can be visually. Oh. All right, so that was out of its range. So I know it's going to be over 500 units. So we now have our damage being dictated by the distance from the grenade. So I want to do a quick reiteration of what we've done. Remove that log and compile. So what we're doing is we're getting the distance between the grenade and the player that we are trying to apply damage to, because it was confirmed that it was a valid hit. And the way we do that is just, well, the way this works is pretty much subtracts the destination from the source, or vice versa, whatever. I'm not entirely sure. But then we calculate the damage. So the damage is done by our whatever we want our multiplier to be. So if we want it to be spread out kind of a little bit more, we would use a bigger value here. So for example, or the opposite, sorry. So for example, this case, this number is going to be the number that we would want to be our maximum or our minimum area for 100 damage. So 200 units away from the grenade is equal to 100 damage. So what we do is we take that value, the distance that we, or the value that we want for that, we divide it by distance, being the distance between the grenade and you, and we multiply that by 100. Then we're just going to simply round it just to keep it kind of nice and neat, so we don't have any, we just don't need to have any floats to deal with, or not floats, decimal points to worry about or care about even. Then we call take damage like before, and that's all. So that's, I think that's going to be the end of the grenade section of this tutorial. So yeah, trying to think of anything else off the top of my head. Make sure that they're both going inventories and everything right. Really need a much better picture for them. Yeah, I think that's it. So whatever we end up doing in the next video, I will see you then.